Okay, perfect.
Okay, let me go ahead and put this on the stand, but you can go ahead and start.
Okay. Well, hi everyone. My name is Jonathan, and I'm a stroke survivor, an AVM stroke survivor. It's been 4 years now, well, 4.5 years since January 1st, 2021, the moment I had my stroke. And it's been something challenging for the past 4.5 years. But to this day, I'm so grateful that I'm still moving on forward and still staying strong and continuing, like moving on forward. And I'm actually here in Canada, in Ontario. It still was called with snow and a lot of rain, but thankfully, like the weather is going to get better soon too. This journey has been very challenging. It's been a journey where sometimes we just doubt ourselves, and we doubt ourselves because it's very challenging and it's something that is a traumatic experience that we really don't expect it to happen, especially when being well and from one day to another having a traumatic change where the stroke happens. So based on the stroke, it was starting the new year on January 1st, where I was rushed to the hospital. And the moment that I was rushed to the hospital, a lot of doctors weren't sure what was going on. It was also during the time of COVID, and it was it was scary, the whole experience, because it wasn't something that I couldn't really understand what was happening.
Yeah.
And it was something that affected me in mentally and physically, and it took about one full week. And during that full week, I was in the hospital, but I got moved to a different hospital, to two different hospitals. And the other hospital that I was taken to, which was in Toronto, downtown, there were more specialists related to that knew how to treat someone with stroke. So there was a team of about 10 of them, and that team of 10 were the ones that were able to help me out, facilitate, and to figure out what is happening. Um, it was an aneurysm on the left side of my brain that ruptured, and the moment that it ruptured, it was blood all over my brain, where the doctors were kind of like unsure of how, first of all, how I survived, and secondly, how it started to completely drain off on its own, where the blood was just draining on its own. So it didn't kill me. And it's a blessing to be still alive, for the fact that I'm still here, being able to share this story with everyone. And
Thank you.
it wasn't something that I knew exactly what was going on, since I had a lot of difficulties with my speech that affected the left side of my brain, and also the mobility on the opposite side, the right side. And the speech, when it came to speaking, I had a lot of difficulties. So I didn't know how to express myself.
Yeah.
I only could express myself through my emotions that could be read through my eyes, and my body feeling just very weak, and just not knowing what's happening. So throughout that moment, during that week in the hospital, I had received CT scans and also MRI, which was the way that the doctors were able to identify exactly what caused the stroke, which they call it an AVM, which is anterior venous malformation. So there was one specific weak vein that ruptured, and that specific weak vein was that caused everything, caused the stroke. So I received an angiogram, and that angiogram was also a form of confirmation to detect the exact location in the brain. So that way, 3 months later, I was able to receive another surgery in my head, which they call it radio gamma knife. And radio gamma knife is whenever they place about 6 metal screws in your skull and also a metal plate. And it's a full day surgery where they try to detect the exact location where radiation is applied to the brain. So that way, over time, the AVM begins to shut off till it completely goes away. But till this day, after 4.5 years, it's reduced a lot smaller than what it was in the beginning. So, so that's the most amazing gift that it started to work. It started to recover and heal my brain, and also at the same time, I was able to these consecutive years till today be able to speak, be able to understand, and be able to walk and be able to understand. That's the most amazing gift that I was given, and I thank God for that, because without faith, it's not possible for something to happen, because it means believing without seeing. Because many times in life, we need to see things to believe. But in my case, and as well many others that are still here today that are alive, whether it's a stroke survivor or whether it's someone with disability or with mental health, we're still here with that purpose. So that is faith. Faith is believing without seeing. So I encourage everybody that we still have that second opportunity. And not only do we have that second opportunity, but there's always an opportunity where we can change our lives. And we can change our lives the moment that we stop looking back to our old self, because our old self allowed this to happen to each one of us in a different way. But it all happened in a different way because sometimes we really don't know why it happened. But whatever reason it did cause it to happen, it allowed us to have that opportunity to reflect, but not only reflect to our lives, but also just to be grateful. Be grateful that we were given life, and also an opportunity to continue moving on forward. Because many times we don't get that second opportunity. There's many other stroke survivors that can't tell their story this day. They pretty much had their stroke and they passed away. So it's that miracle that we're still here today. Whether we still have those difficulties, we have those challenges, and we have those upsets where everything is not working the way we want it to work at the moment, but we still look at it as an opportunity where we can continue working on ourselves in all areas, whether it's mentally, physically, and emotionally. Yeah.
I really like that. I think it took me some time to realize that, but I like how you're sharing that, and it's a great reminder because I constantly have to remind myself as well. I do think there's a lot of things going on, and yeah, to focus on that is powerful.
Yeah, I totally agree. I believe that everything happens for a reason. But the fact that we're still here is because we have that second chance. And whenever we get that second chance, we just need to take advantage of it and continue working on ourselves and continue putting that effort forward so that way we can make a difference. Till this day now, I'm currently also helping out in the community. And I find it that helping in the community is a form of service, because whenever we serve others, we also receive. And we receive by simply listening to whoever is going through whatever it is that they're facing at that moment. And also taking that time, taking that your own personal time to help other people. Because whenever we take that time to connect with other people and start to build that unity within the community or within our household or within friends or even strangers, everything that we do when we connect, we make a difference through service. And through that service, it helps to recover and heal anybody that takes that chance to receive, to learn, and to accept. Because life is unpredictable, and life is something that we just need to be thankful of it. Because many times we live like where we have everything. And the fact that we have everything, sometimes we really don't appreciate the moment it's taken away from us. But now that life has changed completely, whether it's in my life or your life or anyone else, it just helps us to think and to reflect. And and that's the beautiful thing, that we're given that second chance.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so glad. I do think that, I think everything like that I'm here and I'm able to continue to push because I know that not everyone is fortunate to have that opportunity.
Yes, yes, I totally agree. I believe that each day we're constantly battling. And the battle that we face is not just a battle with the negative thoughts that we receive on a daily basis, but also physically. The fact of going through stroke is the hardest challenge that we face each day. Our challenges when it comes to speech or either vision or either sensitivity, when it comes to taste, when it comes to touch, or even our mobility. All of that is a battle that we face day by day. But even though we face that day by day, we still have that chance where we can work on ourselves and also connect with other people, whether it's other stroke survivors that can motivate one another, so that way we can always have that hope. Because without hope, it's really hard to break through those challenges that hold us back from from not being able to overcome that challenge, that we continue to carry that doubt, that insecurity, and also that fear within us. So that's something that I've always learned by either reading books, and also not just reading books, but also applying my faith, believing in God that He has given us that chance. But also, even through His Word, it teaches us that He is life, and also that His love for us is always there for us. So whenever we understand that there is a greater power than us, whether we're exposed to doctors, therapists, psychologists, nurses, or either family members or even strangers, anybody that can be a form of support and help is amazing and a gift, right? Because it's a support. But at the end, there's always a certain limit that each one of us as humans can actually do. But whenever we think that there's someone greater than us that can do the impossible, that's where I believe that God is the one that can do the impossible in our lives, because we're still here. And the fact that we're still here, it must mean that there's something greater than us, whether greater than the doctors, greater than the nurses, greater than the therapists, that could do the impossible. So I just encourage everyone to continue, can continue to connect with other people. Connect with other people that is a form of support, is a form of encouragement, and also someone that is always showing that love, that understanding, and also that compassion. Because we live in a time where the world is getting cold each day, where there isn't that love and compassion anymore. And because there isn't that love and compassion is the reason why there's very few people that are willing to demonstrate that. And whenever you find that, those are the people that you should keep and connect with, because it's the way that you're going to grow, is the way that you're going to flourish, and also at the same time, it's going to be a gift through that journey and through that process of recovery and healing.
That's powerful. You know, I was talking to a survivor, and just last year he messaged me, and he was going through some dark times, and we were talking about today and how much everything has changed. You know, I really love how you were talking about being of service, you know, whether it's to somebody else. It could even be within your family or the people that you love around you, or to strangers. You know, I don't think you always have to do it at like a volunteer event or something. But yeah, I really like how you touched on that, because that is powerful, what it does for you and also for other people as well, to give them compassion and your time. You know?
Yeah. Yes, yeah, I totally agree. I believe that during COVID was a time where there was a lot of restriction. And not only was there a lot of restriction during COVID, it affected many people, whether they're young or older. It affected them mentally and physically and emotionally. And I always suggest that being alone is the worst thing that we can do to ourselves. Instead, we actually cause harm to ourselves. So it's so important to always connect with people, whether it's a simple conversation or whether it's having someone to visit you. I think that that's like the best medicine, and as well, even being exposed to the sun, because if we're not exposed to the sun, we're not getting that sunlight. We're not getting that immunity, and also we're not getting that. We're not getting that like that strength and also immunity. Because whenever we're isolated and we're in somewhere that is dark or cold, or there's no sunshine, then there's no life. Because without the sun, there's no life. So I always recommend that being exposed to the sun, it helps a lot. It makes a big difference, and it gives you that energy and that strength to continue. Yeah.
I really enjoy walks a lot more now since then, and you know, it helps having a dog too.
Yeah, you see, so that's excellent. Like whenever you do something different, whether it's walking by nature and also breathing and being exposed to nature, that gives you life as well. Because everything that is created, everything around us, everything is a miracle. Because everything was created with a purpose. Like the sun, we need it for photosynthesis. We need it for out the plants. We need it for fruits, for vegetables. Because if there isn't food, we wouldn't be able to survive. We wouldn't have the energy that we need, right? So everything around us is a miracle. And that's the reason why we need to take advantage of that. Being exposed to nature, being exposed to the sunlight, connecting with people, and at the same time, day by day, little by little, exercise, and also try to avoid those negative thoughts. Because each day that we have those negative thoughts is the battle that we face mentally and also physically and emotionally. So that's the full connection that we face day by day.
Yeah, that's very powerful. I think that those negative thoughts are loud, but you just continue to, you know, you don't listen and you continue to do that, and eventually you get better at it as time goes on.
Yes, yes. As time goes on, we can't always say that we'll be better the next day, because in reality, everything does take time, because everything that we go through is not easy. It's not easy when someone goes through something, and life is completely changed in a 180 or 360, and then you say to yourself, but why? Why is this happening now? Or why is it that I can't walk or talk or understand? But even though we ask ourselves, and even though we may not have all the answers to it, but we're still here. And the fact that we're still here, that's the greatest gift. And we can't give up. We just can't. We can't give up, because everything that we do here on this earth, and whatever it is that is a testimony for others, is a message of hope for others to stay strong, to move forward, and to break through. To break through based on everything that was taken away from them. And it could be anything. It could be physically, mentally, and also emotionally, but also even the loved ones that we may have and we lost them. Anything in life that we have sometimes is taken away. But at the same time, we can't allow that to take away our joy, our peace, and our love within us.
Yeah, yeah, never give up for sure. You know, I know that if I would have a long time ago, you know, things look completely different now, and I'm sure you can relate, Jonathan. Yeah, I really like that reminder. You know, you cannot, you know, you just have to keep on fighting. Yeah, I really
Yes.
appreciate your time, Jonathan. You know, and your wisdom. You know, I can tell, like, it just shines out of you. So I really appreciate that. I like that message.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks for your time, and you know, it was fun. You know, I don't know if you had
Yes.
any last words or
Yes.
you want to say anything
Can,
else.
can, can I can I read one verse
Yeah, go.
that I
Yeah,
can share?
yeah, go
And
for it.
it's a verse that helped me a lot throughout this journey. And it's a Bible verse that I've read to myself that helped me throughout this journey. I just want to share
Yeah,
it
I would
before
love it. Yeah,
before I leave everybody.
yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So let me just read it for everyone. So it says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe stands always condemned, because they have not believed in the name of God, one and only Son." So that message is the message of hope, where it means that whenever we believe in a greater power than us, who is Jesus Christ, is the only way to be saved, healed, and recovered.
Like that. You know, I've heard that verse before, and it's just nice to have you read it, also to the audience as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Yeah, if you guys aren't already following him, can you tell everyone your handle? Project, what is it? Project 21?
Oh, yes, yes. For my
Yeah, you're, yeah.
Instagram, you can find me in project.20.1, and also
Okay,
you can find me in YouTube as well. Yeah.
oh, you do have YouTube? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll find you on YouTube as well. Is it the same name?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll follow you on YouTube.